Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mother's Day week. How fun is this? You know, I am Real Talk Kim. I have two sons. I have Lincoln Presley, which is 27, and Morgan Scotland, which is 29. I can't even believe that I have kids grown, and both of them are 6'5". They're both 6'5", great boys. One of them's married, one of them's in a serious relationship, and just watching them grow has just been amazing. Watching them become incredible men. You know, I talk a lot on my podcast about relationships and about really at the end of the day, your relationship is a reflection of you, really. All your relationships are a reflection of you as a person. And so I believe that sometimes, you know, as moms, we get kids that are, you know, some kids just, that you can't do nothing. They just were born with that rebellious gene, and it's really easy as a parent to guilt trip yourself and beat yourself up because your kid isn't acting right. And now we live in a world where, you know, we feel judged because if our kids aren't acting right, and we feel like people are talking about us. But I'm just so thankful that, you know, in my early years, probably when I hit about 38, 39, I started getting really free from people. Like, I never again allow myself to live in a place where I allowed people to make me feel anything. If you ain't in my house and you don't pay my bills, your opinion does not matter, right? Y'all, it is so easy for us to go through life miserable because we are trying to keep up with the Joneses, or we are allowing loudmouth chunky butt aunt over there to talk about us when they don't live in our shoes. They don't live in our house. We're over here asking people that have never been in our shoes how to tie our shoelaces. Wherever you're seeking constructive criticism from people that ain't never constructed nothing. And man, it is really easy for us in this day and age to get into a place where we are comparing our lives to other people. And so I'm going to get into it today. Last week, I talked about relationships, and I answered a lot of questions that came in through my link up. Y'all know that I have a singles ministry that I lead at Limitless Church, which is where I pastor. And it's called Link Up, LINQUP. And we have incredible singles from all over the world that come once a month and hang out with me. And we have it again this May, May the 20th, right here in Atlanta. I've rented out the Apache Cafe in Atlanta downtown, and it's going to be so much fun. We have two shows, 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock, and it's open to couples and singles. And I'm urging everybody to get babysitters and come get in that room, dress up, feel good about yourself, come expectant. I got DJs. I got a Will Johnson coming in with the choir. It's funny. It's not like a real choir rehearsal, but he makes the whole crowd get involved, and it's a lot of fun. But I talked about relationships last week, and we're going to talk about it again this week. I'm going to talk about marriage, talk about everything. I just feel like God has really anointed me to talk about it because I've made a mess out of my relationships, a lot of them, until I learned. So y'all come on in, share this broadcast with somebody right now. Just push that share button, send the link, just push share and it'll give you a link, and you share that on your news feeds. Please share it with somebody in your family that just has been stuck, allowing a season in their life to define their lifetime. And also give me some stars. Go give me a review, because, you know, there's 8 billion people in this world. And the only way they know that the Real Talk Kim podcast is a good podcast is if you share it. And so I've got some really cool stuff coming up. I'm inviting some guests in here, and we're going to talk about a lot of really cool stuff. And so we're just kind of broadening our horizons here at the Real Talk Kim podcast. I've just been so honored that I now run ads. I've got, you know, better help. I've got several people that I am linking up with to do ads on this. So we're really taking off. This podcast has been syndicated now. So wherever you listen to this podcast, if you would be so kind to subscribe, push that subscribe button, share it with somebody, leave me a good review. Thank you that every single month you are a part of my life. Y'all are so good to me, and I'm so appreciative of every support, every ounce of support that you give. Also, you can find out all you want to know about me, my ministry, my books. I got a new book coming out in August called You Gotta Get Up. All of that right here at realtalkkim.com. realtalkkim.com. I'm going to throw it to a commercial, and then I'll be right back. We're going to chop it up. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am Real Talk Kim. I am so excited to be here with you today. You know, I was getting this podcast together, and I started thinking about some quotes that I have shared over the years. And one of it says, most couples don't need a divorce from their marriage. What they need is a funeral for their pride. Most couples don't need a divorce from their marriage. What they need is a funeral for their pride. And I thought about that. And I started thinking about, y'all know I got lots of stories of failed situations in my life. How many years, how many relationships could have probably been savored in my life if I just wouldn't have had pride, right? Pride is that thing that rises up, and a lot of times in men too, where they're just like, no, you ain't gonna tell me, right? And women are like, you ain't gonna tell me. And all of a sudden, y'all sleeping in the same beds, but you ain't touched him forever. Y'all over here thinking he's having an affair on you, and he's over here like, girl, I ain't even got time to have an affair on you. You wearing me out. I can't even please you. So how am I going to go have an affair on you if I can't even please you? How am I going to? I had a guy one time, y'all, that him and his wife were a part of our church, and she just knew he was cheating. She was like, he's cheating on me. We haven't touched him forever. And so they came and had a counseling session with me, and they were sitting there, and she was like, Pastor Kim, he's cheating on me. And I looked at him and I was like, are you cheating on her? He said, Pastor, no. He said, the reason I don't touch her is because she's mean. She's mean. She's disrespectful. She don't respect me. And I know people think that men can they just pop up, just do whatever you need them to do. But he said, men ain't that way. He said, men, we need to feel loved. We need to feel respected. We need to feel, like that we matter. We don't need to be called out of our name and treated like we're little boys. And man, that did something to me, y'all, because I had walked through a divorce already. And I had to stop and ask myself, how was I? How was I with my mouth? And I've always been kind of a powerful woman. I've always made a lot of money my whole life. I've always made really probably more than anybody that I was with. And I didn't know how to handle that. And I a lot of times I think that I, probably got a little resentful in those relationships. And when I finally got to a place where I realized I probably will always make more money because I am just very blessed. And I gotta situate myself and start realizing that I would rather have a man that flipped burgers, that loved me and valued me and was good to me, than a man that can keep up with me, right? And so I think sometimes you have to take a step back and you have to ask yourself, what do I want? What's important to me? And what is my vibe? Like, what am I giving off? I'm an alpha female. You say I'm an alpha female and I intimidate everybody. No, you don't. Like, there's a man out there that will love you. There's a woman out there that will love you, that was created to handle your personality, right? To love you. often say this, if you're out there and you're a woman and you're saying things like, I need a man that can handle me. If you got to say stuff like that, that leads me to believe that you do not bring peace. And I don't know one man that does not want to have peace. I've watched men walk away from very good, what it looked like, great relationships with a gorgeous woman that took care of herself, but she was a storm. And I've watched them walk away and say, man, I don't care. I want peace. And so my question today is, what are we bringing? What are we bringing to the table? What is our spirit? You know, I even look back at the times when I remember I was walking through my divorce after 18 years and I was so devastated, and I loved that boy's guts. And I thought when my marriage ended, this thing is over. I'm done. And man, when I realized that, no, I'm not. Like, I'm just getting started. Like, I can shift my mouth. And a lot of times, y'all, you don't really even know that you the way you are. And so it would do us good to literally record ourselves. Like, I turned on the recorder on my phone and forgot it was recording because I just wanted to hear how I talked. How did I act? Right? Because I don't want to keep repeating the same cycles in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to keep putting these walls up around me and acting like I don't need nobody, because I won't allow myself to heal me because I got too much pride, right? This was powerful. Most couples don't need a divorce from their marriages, from their relationships. What they need is a funeral for their pride, right? Because I really do believe, y'all, somewhere we as women, even boss chicks, millionaires, billionaires, killing the game, killing our body game, killing our everything game, except we ain't killing our heart game. And I wrote this down too. I really appreciate being treated with softness so much, because every other part of my life, I've always had to show up strong. How many of you can say that? Like, I really appreciate being treated with softness, because in every area of my life, moms, we carry kids, we raise kids, we work, we have babies, we cook supper, we do a lot. And God has given you the capability on the inside of you to not let things in your life, because I believe the enemy really fights us women in this area. Every time somebody hurts us, every time somebody rejects us, every time somebody isn't who we thought they would be, that what they do to us gets inside of us. And then that's what makes us hard. That makes us bitter. That makes us live a lonely life. And then you're going to be like me. You're going to be turning 50 years old, and you're going to be looking at your life, and you're going to be thinking stuff like I did. Look, I got everything going for me except a relationship. Yeah. And you're going to be looking at yourself and you're going to be really mad because money don't keep you warm. Yeah. That BBL don't keep you warm. That plastic surgery doesn't keep you warm at night. It doesn't fight for you. It doesn't make you feel protected. And y'all, at the end of the day, God created order. God created the man stronger, bigger, authoritative, so that he can cover and protect. But how many of us don't let him? Like, how many of us don't let them? How many of us literally have been so scarred by the wrong men that we've allowed in our lives that we don't let them? Listen to another one I wrote down. Princess treatment comes naturally from a man who loves you, so stop begging for it. Princess treatment comes naturally from a man who loves you, so stop begging for it. Now, my question to you is, how many years of our lives have we wasted on the wrong people? Given CPR to the wrong people. I have some of these questions here that I wanted to finish. One of the questions was, if you've been married 3 times, honestly, she says, I've been married 3 times. What do you even do now? Yeah, she says, I desire to be married again, but I do not want a repeat of 1, 2, or 3. Please help. She says, if you have been married 3 times, and she put honestly, like she was embarrassed of that. She says, what do you even do now? Question mark. And then she says, yes, I desire to be married again, but I do not want a repeat of 1, 2, or 3. Please help. You know, I get it. You don't want to repeat, but you won't repeat if you fix the areas of you that caused the 1, 2, and 3. You won't repeat if you fix the areas of you, all right? If you fix the areas of you that attracted 1, 2, and 3. What does that even mean, Kim? That means taking an inward look at yourself. Are you offended easily? Are you a crazy person when you get in a relationship? Are you controlling? Are you bipolar per se, where you just freak out, where you just don't trust, where you are a tornado instead of peace, right? Because at the end of the day, I've been married more than once. And I had to stop and ask myself, why did you keep marrying people with different faces but the same temperament? Because what we got to do is we got to heal the parts of us that attract these people. And most of the time, if you step back, most everybody you've been in a relationship had the same temperament. And a lot of times it's a temperament of your dad that was a mess. Maybe it was you don't want to be like your mama, and now you turn out just like your mama. And so you got to realize that God gave you that desire to get married again. Like you're over here embarrassed of where you've been. Don't you be embarrassed. Don't you be embarrassed that you weren't afraid to try. And there's something good about you because you got a chance to be married 3 times, right? And so instead of being embarrassed because a relationship didn't work out, you should be really thankful that you at least were desirable. So that's the first sign that you've got what it takes. Like you are all that because you had someone interested enough in you that to say, I do to you. And so we got to stop looking at our breaking points as bad points because failure isn't failure unless you quit getting up. The reason you have a desire to get married again is because God gave you that desire. You know what that means? That there's somebody out there that is going to love you right. And you're going to love them right. Yo, I have never in my life, after turning 50, realized I have met some of the nicest, most wonderful men ever. Like the most, I can't even believe that I've been living under a rock for so long because I had a type. The type is why I'd been married more than once, right? Because I kept going after the type, and the people that I've been going out with and dating and getting dressed up and going to dinner with are people that were not my type. But everything that I needed, everything that I want, laugh, easy going, calm. They're not like me. What? Just cool, chill, easy to talk to. And you know what? It brings the best out in me. And so don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to put yourself back out there again. But this time, I would tell you to go against your type. All right? Stop thinking that everybody, because your type ain't worked, obviously 3 times. Neither did mine. So put yourself back out there. Take all inhibitions out of it. Realize that you ain't got nothing to lose. So what if they turn out to be a toad? You wouldn't know if you didn't put yourself out there. You see what I'm saying? So you will not repeat cycles if you heal the areas on the inside of you that attracted the old, right? Yeah. Here's another one. Somebody said, should I just get a puppy at this point? Should I just get a puppy at this point? You can do whatever you want to do. You want to go get a puppy? Go get a puppy. Y'all know I got Kingston Henry after my divorce 4 years ago. Went and got a puppy. And you know what? He was a great emotional support dog, if I do say so myself. He kept me at peace. Kept me, I had a friend in that dog that never talked back. And he gave me wherewithal to stay focused for 3 years and heal. And so maybe you do need a puppy until you heal. And then God's going to bring you somebody in your life. Because y'all, as soon as you start getting healed, poor Kingston went and lived with Mimi. Kingston was everything. But when I moved downtown and I'm living on the 15th floor, I'm like, I'm healed. Like God did a work in me. And now Mimi needs an emotional support dog. So Mimi took Kingston. And I get to see Kingston all week. Just not at my house, right? So maybe you do need a puppy until you heal. And that's okay. But if you desire to be married, if you desire for that marriage to work, if you've been in a relationship and y'all have lost connection, my challenge to you would be to stop blaming them and focus on you. When you point your fingers, 3 more is pointing back at you. If you don't like what you've been dating, change what you've been giving. Fix your heart because you attract what you are and not what you want. Here's another one. How do you approach someone in a grocery store or a gym? Now, y'all, this made me laugh because that is funny. You're going to be in a gym and a grocery store. That means you like to work out and you're a foodie, which I'm here for all day. You know what? At the grocery store, walk up to a man and say, you look like you work out. Is blueberries good for inflammation? I read something about that, right? Be friendly. Make yourself friendly. At the gym, strike up conversation, right? The other day, I was in the gym. I was in there with my trainer, and another lady walks in, and all of a sudden, all of us are striking up a conversation, becoming friends. And it's because when you see someone maybe at the gym and they're struggling, they don't have a spotter, go over there and ask them, you want me to hold it for you while you do these lifts? What's wrong with that? The worst thing they can say is no. So in order to approach, you're going to have to be okay feeling stupid, and you're going to have to be okay if they say no. And you're going to have to just look at it like, I ain't never going to see you again anyway, or this is your loss, right? I got a friend that ain't scared to talk to anybody. In fact, we were out to eat down here at Chops, and this man just kept watching me the whole meal. Gorgeous man. And I am not a good flirt. In fact, I am not a good flirt at all, okay? And so I wouldn't say nothing, but she kept saying, I can't believe that you two have sat here this whole meal, because it was very obvious that y'all have sat here this whole meal and neither one of y'all gonna talk. And I'm like, no, I would never, ever, right? And she goes to the bathroom, and I watched that girl walk over to this guy. His name was Matt. He's a realtor. And all of a sudden, she is getting all of his information. He said, can you give her my phone number? I'm like mortified. Some people just have they don't care. I would have never done anything like that, but I do have eye contact now. And I would ask these questions like, you want me to spot for you? You want me to hold that for you? Yeah, I would do that all day long. And I'm figuring out it's working. So just because you got to figure out what works for you, actually. You got to figure out what works for you and go with that. And sometimes it's just a smile, a nod, right? It's asking someone, can I hold the weight while you're doing those lunges for you? Because you always need a spotter at the gym. And a lot of times people work out by themselves. At the grocery store, you can ask them questions like, do you look like you work out? You look like you're healthy. Can you give me some tips on something I could eat that would be good protein before I go into the gym? Y'all, what's wrong with that, right? What's wrong with that? And another question is, As an independent woman, how can I learn to relinquish control and submit as I prepare to be a godly wife one day? Y'all know I can't wait to answer this question. But before I do, I'm going to throw this over to a commercial and then I'll be right back. I don't know if you've had as much fun as I have, but I have loved these last 2 weeks where I've been able to answer questions. And listen, if you love this and you want to ask me questions, send your questions to rtkquestions@gmail.com. rtkquestions@gmail.com. And I'll answer your questions. I will do at least 2 questions every podcast if I see that y'all are wanting it. Okay? I'll be right back in just a second. Don't you go nowhere. But you can share this and then I'll be back. Love ya. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Y'all remember that song, Welcome Back? Well, wasn't it Cotter? I don't know. I'm sure I'm aging myself. Y'all, thank you for coming back. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for subscribing to this podcast channel. I've had so much fun these last 2 weeks with answering these questions and just talking about, relationships, because relationships are really, really, really fun when you are healthy and your partner is healthy and y'all are doing life together. I mean, what? So I just left with this. You hear me? As an independent woman, how can I learn to relinquish control and submit as I prepare to be a godly wife one day? As an independent woman, how can I learn to relinquish control? And here's what I'm going to say to you. When you are with the right guy, even the strongest alpha female will submit, because he will be leading you the right way. You hear me? I've been in relationships where I was not with the right guy. Y'all know I told y'all a story about whenever I was married and I lost my 18-year marriage and I'm laying in my bed and I'm like, God, take this pain away from me. And I mean, as sure as I'm sitting here, it was like, God was like, girl, I can't take the pain away. You got to get up and walk away. And I realized at that moment that my marriage was not going to be healed because, y'all, I wasn't always the best wife. We were both very broken. And so I had to own it. I had to own my place so that I would quit repeating those cycles. And really, y'all, it's still, I just really started dating again about 6 months ago, and I can tell you, and I'm a very private person, but I can tell you, I know I tell a lot, but I'm private. I just have a gift for making you feel like I'm telling you a lot. I'm going to tell you that I've had to grow a lot in 6 months because I'm a very independent woman. I'm a very strong woman, but I realized that I'm a teddy bear when you get the right people in my life. And so I don't believe that this is even hard. For you to, I don't think this is something that you even, when you are healed, you just do this. When you're healed, it ain't tit for tat. It's not, because I hear all the time, y'all, men are intimidated by me. No, they're not. Men are not intimidated by a strong woman. They don't like a loud, obnoxious, mean woman. There's a difference. They're not intimidated by a strong woman that makes millions. They don't like what comes with a broken woman with millions. Powerful. Because they don't know how to treat the ones closest to them right. They haven't been able to find their balance in being a powerful, independent woman and being a life giver. Someone that can walk in a room and never open their mouth and shift atmospheres. Because a strong, powerful woman is only strong and powerful because God is trusting her with lots of levels of power. And so if God created you and gave you the gift and the favor on your life to be a strong, powerful woman, He did not give that to you for you to abuse it, but to be a blessing with it. And so if you're a strong, powerful, independent woman and you desire a man to love you, and you wouldn't be dating if you didn't, and you keep running them off, you got to ask yourself, am I messing up the gift God gave me because I'm taking it and letting it get to my head? Remember, a lot of marriages don't need divorce. They just need to divorce their pride. So maybe today you just need to have a little talk with Jesus. Because if you want to get married, you got to be respectful. You got to be honorable. You got to honor. You got to be selfless. You got to know how to forgive, right? Because all of us want to be loved. So as an independent woman, how do I learn to relinquish control? When the right one comes in your life, they're going to make you better and not bitter. And this is going to be easy. The key word is the right one. Not the one you create in your Build-A-Bear manufacturer that was never supposed to be there in the first place. There are men in this world built to love a woman like you, to protect, to celebrate, to carry your bags, to love on you, to let you be soft, right? So if that's what you desire, it's coming. And here's how I'm going to end with this. A safe man comes into your life and loves you correctly. No sneaky stuff, no half love, no extra females, no inconsistency, just you and you only. The key word is the right man, and they coming when you become the right woman. Man, I love y'all so much. I've had so much fun with you. Look, right this second, you can just decide, I'm done being messy, done being angry, done holding on to bitter and anger. I'm getting up, walking out of this, and I'm about to be the wind in someone's sail, the president of their fan club, their escape, and not their duty. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Man, I love y'all so much. I will see you next week. Make sure you share this. Subscribe to my podcast channel. I love you, and I will see you next Wednesday. Over and out.